Episode 4. Nec tu va tisapus divinum despica Carmen, quo nihil aethereos ortus et semina caeli, nil magis hu nam commendat originamentem, sancta pro Metheae retinens vestigia flammae, Carmena mont superi tremabundaque tartara Carmen, Imacie revalet divos queligara profundos, et triplici du rosma nesata mantecoercet. And you, nec, that's etnon, nec tu, and you, despica. Here is a second singular imperative. And you do not despise, do not look down upon, despica, the divinum Carmen, the divine song, which is the opus vatus, the work of a poet. So divinum, Carmen, and opus are all neuter, singular, and accusative. And either opus vatus is the object of despica, and divinum Carmen is in apposition, or it's the opposite. Carmen is the object of despica, and opus is in apposition. Quo can be tricky to translate. We might say by this, referring to what has come before, nothing, nil magis, nothing commendat, recommends, approves, or clarifies the aethereos ortos, the heavenly origins, and the seeds of the sky. Nothing does this more, nil magis, nothing more recommends these things, and the human mind, so these three things, than its origin. Or we might say for origine, source. And this is a feminine singular ablative of comparison. So then this verb commendat has three objects: ortus, semina, and mentem. So they are the aethereos ortus, the heavenly origin, the seeds of the sky, and the human mind. Now in the next line we have this participle retinens, and it is in the singular and nominative, but we're not quite sure of the gender. It might be natural to take mentem as its reference, but if so, then it's odd that it would be in the nominative, and this comma is kind of inexplicable. The last stated subject that we had is one we have to derive from the previous sentence, something like Carmen. And so I think that grammatically we're pretty much obliged to take Carmen as the reference for retinens. The poetry is holding on to retinens, the sancta vestigia, the holy traces, holy footprints of the Promethean flame. Obviously a reference to Prometheus, this gentleman here, who stole fire from the heavens. Prometheus was a titan and on the side of humanity. Now, if some want to argue that retinens is a constructio ad sensum with reference to mentem, I won't quibble with that explanation. It is somewhat odd to refer it to Carmen, but grammatically I think that's required. The gods above, superi, they're fond of poetry, and poetry, Carmen in the singular, notice Carmen begins and ends the line, is strong enough to dislodge the infinitive chiere, Tartarus, the tremabunda, the quaking depths of Tartarus. And poetry, Carmen, is strong enough, wallet, to bind together, to tie in their place, the divos profundos, the gods beneath, the gods of the dead. And so we have the gods above, the gods beneath, and it in fact restrains, now an indicative, in parallel with wallet, the shades below, the hard shades below, with triple adamante. This is a kind of iron. All of this is a reference to Orpheus and his descent to the underworld when he played the lyre to win back his bride Eurydice.